It's so beautiful. Hey guys, thanks for coming back to another episode. And in today's episode, we're going to be looking at how to create a music app a little bit more. And for those of you who are new here, I recommend going and checking out the first video I did on this, which I will link in the description below. But today is part 2, and we're going to be looking at more how to work with this framework, which is called AudioKit, by the way. Amazing stuff. And for those musicians out there who are also computer geniuses, you guys are going to want to look into this, because today I'm going to be showing you more how to create your own music app. And that's the end goal here, is we want to create a keyboard app where you can play different sounds, all those piano thingies, but it's on your phone and you can show your friends, be like, hey, check this out, I got a piano on my phone now that I made. So if you want to do all that stuff, you want to stay tuned for this. In this tutorial, we're mainly going to be figuring out how to get sounds out of this framework, because I know in the last tutorial we figured out how to get the keyboard on the screen of your phone, but the only thing is when we got it on there, it didn't make any sound. So that's what all this tutorial is going to be about, is making sound in this framework. So first thing you're going to want to do is go to your web browser, and you're going to want to type in audiokit.io/downloads. And I'll link this website in the description. And then once you get to there, you're going to want to click AudioKit Playgrounds, zip, and it's going to start downloading. And then once that finishes downloading, open up your downloads folder and go ahead and click on that zip file. It's going to open up into a nice little folder. And then if you open up that folder, you should see an AudioKit Playgrounds.xcode proj. And if Xcode is downloaded correctly on your computer, you should see it look like this blue sheet thingy, kind of a blueprint thingy with an A on it. And that means you have Xcode downloaded on your computer. If you don't have Xcode, go ahead, download that from the Apple App Store. You can do it right here, the App Store. Go ahead, download that, and you can now open this project, or playground I should say, and it's going to say, do you want to open it? For sure, because it's downloaded from the internet, security reasons, and you just want to say open because you know it's safe. You know, hopefully the people at AudioKit didn't put any viruses in this thing, but anyway, once you got it open, then we are going to go ahead and switch gears. We're going to go over to this article. You can see in your web browser, type that in, or you can go to the link in the description and I'll put it in there. But this is the article we're going to be following today to get some sound out of our AudioKit. So it's by Colin Eberhardt. I hope I say that right. And you can see it's for beginners. Should take about 30 minutes, so great. It's perfect for the both of us, because I don't have much programming knowledge myself, but yet I'm showing you guys this video. But I'm not a pro, obviously, but it's just fun to show people how to do this. And I don't think there's a video out about this yet for this article, so you guys can just kind of walk through it with me, I guess. So you can see here we got a little bit of reading, and basically just tells you the background of what AudioKit is and what synthesizers are and what we're doing. And then you'll notice they tell you to open the playground, and they actually tell you to download it, but we already downloaded it from AudioKit. And this is very important because you'll notice their playground is version 3.6, and we have a higher version. We downloaded 4.6 because we downloaded it from the AudioKit website. So that's actually better for us because we probably won't get as many errors. I tried downloading this from this article before and I got some errors. So if you guys are still getting errors and you downloaded it from the official AudioKit website, please let me know in the comments below and I'll try to fix them my best I can, or maybe somebody else will help you out. But just let me know if you're getting errors that way. So first thing we got to do is, it looks like we got to create a new playground. So to do that, we go to this little add button here. You should have Xcode open in it. You should have your project open exactly like this. We want to click this little add button here. in the bottom left corner, and then click New File, and we're going to scroll down. You can see it says Mac OS. We want to scroll down, and you can see these blue, like it's like a blue bird. It's the Swift bird, and you can just see it's like a little blue thingy. You want to just open that up blank, and they told us to call it Journey, so why not? Let's call it Journey. We're going on a journey, guys. And go ahead and make sure this is checked, because that adds it to your playground target. So go ahead, create that. All right, now we got this thing, and it's basically just gonna say, hello, playground. So we can go ahead and click this play button, and it's gonna say running. And this is the cool thing about Playground, is that you can run it while you're coding. And yay, we got our hello playground, so everything seems to be working. We can go ahead and stop this. Just delete all that. And then let's go back to our article here. This is the fun part where we start adding sound. So we got our oscillator here. All right, so you guys remember hopefully from the last tutorial that we need to import frameworks sometimes to be able to use the code of those frameworks. Because if I just started typing this right away, if I just started typing let oscillator, it will just not know what the heck I'm saying. It's like if you're trying to talk to someone in Spanish and they don't speak Spanish, exact same thing. And like, what are you talking about, man, boy? What's this? AK oscillator? I have no idea what the heck that is. So we gotta import its language, teach this computer how to speak the AudioKit language. So let's go ahead, import AudioKit. Now it will understand what we're trying to tell it, our words of AudioKit wisdom. But anyway, now we can start coding this. So we're basically gonna start off setting an oscillator, and this is how we're gonna get our noise. It's funny because I'm learning about this stuff in physics right now. We're learning about oscillation, so this will be interesting. So let's just create a new variable. This is going to be our oscillator, and they even have a thing for it, an AK oscillator. So it looks like that's a class or something. Yeah, it's a class. Look at all these classes. They got AK clip, AK drip, AK MIDI, AK delay, AK flute, AK mixer. Look at all these goodies. I mean, we got a lot to mess around with. But for now, we're just going to start out with that oscillator, and then go ahead, type in that AudioKit.output, it looks like. And this is basically just going to give an output to our oscillator, which is going to be our speakers, obviously. Got my speakers right here. And we can really call this whatever we want, like awesome sound or something. And then we change this to awesome sound. Like, we don't have to call it oscillator if we don't want to, but because this is just a variable that we're setting to the AK oscillator. So that's variable now of data type AK oscillator. So now we are going to go ahead and just call the AudioKit start, and this is going to start up our oscillator, it looks like. Actually, no. This is going to start up AudioKit. Oh, whoops. And then if you try to actually do this, sorry, we're all over the place here. We actually got our first error now. So it looks like maybe you guys will get this error too if you type it in exactly like this. I found a fix for this by looking on a handy website called Stack Overflow. It's like the Yahoo Answers for programmers. Like, you just figure stuff out. And so I figured out, okay, if we type try, exclamation mark, like try this, you know? And then we do AudioKit start. It's not gonna give us that anymore. I don't actually know why. I think it's because it sort of gives it a way to handle the error. It like forces it to try to start. I'm just as new to this as you guys. You know, I started this a couple of years ago, so I'm still kind of new at this as well. But yeah, I'm showing you guys how to do it, which is crazy. But anyway, now we made a variable awesome sound just to test to see if you guys know that you can change this, right? So now we can change this to awesome sound, our variable that we created here. Whatever you called it, make sure everything matches up. You know, I got awesome sound there, and I got awesome sound here. So you want to make sure everything matches up, because that's our oscillator. And then sleep. We're going to sleep 10. This is going to play this sound for 10 seconds. But you'll notice in the playground, it actually just plays it forever, which is kind of weird, but it just happens that way. So let's go ahead and see what this beauty oscillator sounds like. Here we go. Okay. Actually, wait. I gotta press this play button. Whoa. That was loud. Wow, it's, of course, an A. It's an A. So this is basically a sine wave that's the note A, which is 440 hertz. Of course, that's the default note to go to, just an A. It's amazing. You just got your A sine wave right there. You can tune a band from that. Like literally the band at my high school, our band director just got this, it's like a drone sort of that helps us tune and stuff. This is what this kind of reminds me of, like those drones that help the band tune or something. It's just a straight up sine wave that's like, it's almost exactly the same. But anyway, we're just basically going to look at the oscillator frequency now. And we can also control its amplitude, which is another fancy word for volume. Because really, this is just the height of a wave, which is the strength of the wave, which is the volume of the wave. It's like, am I loud or am I quiet? You know, that's what amplitude is. So we're going to go ahead and set our oscillator frequency and amplitude. And we can do that by typing awesome sound, our oscillator, or whatever you guys called it. I don't know what you called it, but I called it awesome sound because it sounds awesome. Then we're going to type in our frequency. This equals, let's do 880, which is basically going to be an A that's an octave higher if we're right. I hope I'm right. I hope I did the math right. And then we're going to do our awesome sound dot amplitude equals, let's make it 0.1. Let's just do 0.6. And then, yeah, let's test this out, see what it does. Whoa, it's an octave higher. My gosh. Okay, now we can do, let's do 220. Should be an octave lower. Or I mean, 2 octaves lower now. Whoa. Yep, it's working. All right, so now, yep, this talks about hertz. You guys should probably read all this. It's actually pretty interesting if you're into synthesizers and all that. And then this part I'm just gonna skip because it didn't really work out. If I tried to do our awesome sound ramp time, yeah, right. Oh, ramp duration, what's this? Ramp duration. Let's give that a go. It seems to be working. So let's do our ramp duration 0.2, and then we already set our frequency down here. Let's just copy what they're doing, sort of. Just explore this. Okay, let's set our frequency to 500 like they did. Okay, we're gonna try importing a couple more things right here. We're gonna import the AudioKit UI, although we don't really need it. Doesn't hurt. And then we're gonna import playground support. All right, so now let's try doing our AK playground loop. There we go, it shows up. So we got it now. So make sure you have all of these imports matched up with mine. Because before, what it would do is if we didn't have all of those, it would say use of unresolved identifier, aka playground loop. It's like, bro, you're not speaking my language again. What's up with that? So we gotta teach it how to speak our language by importing all those. And now it's gonna know what we're talking about, and then we can just do copy this again, see what they're doing. Come on, turn green. Okay, cool. I'm awake now. I actually I know what I'm doing. Yep. Whoa. That's awesome. Okay. Now it's starting to get a little bit annoying. Okay. How do I stop this thing? Okay. Now let's do this every 0.1 seconds. This is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be like, wow, 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 wow. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, and now, wait, so this just goes down to 100, I think. So let's try going down to 50. Now it's gonna go down even lower. So let's just try that out. Okay, let's only go down to 400. See what that does. It's gonna sound like a little bit less woo woo woo. It's gonna be more like woo 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 woo. Yeah. It sounds like a spaceship, kind of like an alien ship coming in. That's so much fun, guys. All right. So now we figured out that, we're gonna move on to sound envelopes, it looks like. So sound envelopes are actually really interesting. They're kind of what controls the flow of the sound, sort of like the attack, the decay, the sustain. So it'll be like the sound will get a bunch of more characteristics that it didn't already have. It won't just be a constant sine wave. It will be like So we're gonna make that, and as stupid as I look doing that, you guys will see what I mean. It's literally gonna sound like that. So you can see there's different parts to this sound envelope. So we're gonna go ahead and actually take this into play. You guys can look at this article, explore it more. Let's go ahead and go to our Journey project. Let's actually right click this thing. A little cool trick we can do is do new playground page. And now it comes up with this blank page. Just delete all that. If you just erase the whiteboard, erase everything, that's exactly what it's like. Like, we can just start clean, start fresh. So let's go ahead and import our thingies, our AudioKit playgrounds. Right there, third one. Import that, import AudioKit, right there. Now we're gonna create, you guessed it, an oscillator. We did this before, so it's nothing new, but we're gonna create another one. And I'm gonna name this oscillator Oscillator Gym, because why not? We can name it whatever we want. But you can't change this part. This part has to be there. So we have to do AK oscillator. It's gotta be there, because if it's not there, it won't turn green like it just did. That means you're 100, dude. You're there. If it turns green, it's good. It's good, G. All right. So now we're gonna create an envelope now, so we can name our envelope. Oh, this is fun. Let's name our envelope envelope. Let's name it me, because my name starts with an E, and I think that's appropriate for this. So envelope Evan. Envelope Evan. All right. And we're gonna call this amplitude, aka amplitude envelope. Okay, that's the thing we set it equal to. So instead of AK oscillator, this is an AK amplitude envelope. And then we actually, this AK oscillator node that we created, these things are called nodes, by the way. It's just like a thingy, it's a node, it's a thingy. So that's what we call a node. It's just like a part of the process. So we're gonna pass our AK oscillator node through this AK amplitude envelope, so we can connect the two. They just go right together like that. So we do our oscillator Jim. There he is. All right, put that guy in there, and that's gonna pass our oscillator Jim through our envelope Evan, and it connects the two. Hey, they're friends now. Great. Okay. So now let's give it some properties. It's an envelope, can't be an envelope without some properties, right? So these are the properties. You got the attack, decay, sustain, release. So let's go ahead and set those values. So we're just gonna do what they do first, and then we're gonna experiment with it later. So envelope Evan, envelope Evan, there he is. All right, attack duration equals 0.01. Okay, so now we got all of our properties set, and you can see this basically just talks about what we talked about. You know, all of these things, AK oscillator, AK amplitude, envelope, they're all under the class AK node. So they're basically nodes. They're like the child of an AK node, if that makes any sense. I don't know. Okay, but now let's do our AudioKit.output just like we did before. This is nothing new, except now we're gonna set our output to our envelope Evan, and then we're gonna do try again, because this thing needs to actually try. If it doesn't try, it's not there. You know, you just gotta try in life. And then we're gonna do AudioKit.start. Cool. All right. So now that's trying that, and then we're gonna do oscillator Jim. We're gonna start him up as well by doing that. Okay, now everybody's good. Okay, so now you can see they give you a little visualization. Our AK oscillator connected to our AK amplitude envelope, connected to our AudioKit. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna create another loop, and this is gonna loop the sound so we can actually hear what the envelope is doing. So it's an AK playground loop again, nothing new really. Just the envelope properties, that was the one new thing we took from this. But other than that, it's pretty much the same as what we did before with the that thing that sounded like a spaceship. Yeah, that thing. All right, now let's do if our envelope Evan is, we're actually gonna, let me explain this for you guys, because I actually looked at this before. This is basically, we're gonna set up an if statement. Now an if statement in programming, it's like, this is a good if statement. If I eat a lot of candy, I might get fat, you know? That's an if statement right there. So it's basically evaluated on a condition, you know? So this if statement that we're gonna set up, it's checking to see if our envelope is started, which we did, I believe it automatically starts when the oscillator Jim starts. So firstly, it should be started, and if it is started, if envelope Evan, oh, where is it? I'm so bad at, and there it is, okay. If this guy is started, we are going to stop that guy, because why not, you know, just stop it, so then that way we can hear the effect again. If statements usually have an else statement, and the else statement just clarifies what the program should do if the original condition isn't true. So if envelope Evan is actually stopped, then we want to start him up again. So we're gonna do envelope Evan start. All right, and that should be it. That should be our, oh, yep, ignore this. It just means that the program will run forever, but ours actually does. I don't know why. It's kind of weird, but I would just ignore that for now if your thing's fine. If it's not running all the time, then add it. But yeah, let's see what, okay, cool. That's the next part, but we're gonna test out and see how this sounds. So let's go ahead and run our code right here. Oh gosh. Whoa. You hear that? It's like pulsing. And if we wanted to, we could do that faster. Let's do it faster just cause. So let's go ahead. 0.1. All right. Waiting. That sounds actually really interesting. Alrighty guys, so we're gonna skip ahead in this article a little bit. We're gonna go to this thing called polyphony, I think is how you say it. Pretty sure. Alright, so now we're gonna get to the good part of this tutorial, because this article is obviously very long and I want you guys to get what you came here for, which is obviously in the first tutorial we made a keyboard. Now we need to make that keyboard have sound, right? And the difference is we're gonna be doing this within this playground, so we're not gonna be doing it in the app we created in the last tutorial. But I'm gonna show you guys how to do it in the playground, and then in the next video we'll hook it up to our app and get that working. But for now, let's look at how to do this in the playground. So I will teach you guys what this is in a second. But for now, let's go ahead and create a new playground page. And we're gonna call this one keyboard, because we're about to create something awesome, which is a keyboard. It's what you guys came here for. It's on the thumbnail of this video. All right, so we're finally getting there, so just stay with me here. I know it's a 30-minute video. All right, so import all of our frameworks that we had previously. Don't leave anyone out, or else you are going to get errors. Okay, so once you have all those frameworks imported, go ahead and create a new variable. This is our oscillator bank. So this is just kind of a... So it's what allows the polyphony, sort of. It's what stores the sound, sort of. I would think of it as that. So we're just gonna do let bank and equals AK oscillator bank. Go ahead and do that. It should turn green. Come on, turn green, turn green. Oh, AudioKit, import AudioKit UI as well. Okay. This isn't, it's not recognizing it is the problem. Okay. Import. See, sometimes the thing with this, guys, is you gotta just keep trying it, because sometimes, I don't know what's going on with the playground, but sometimes it won't recognize the modules. See, these right here are modules. So sometimes it won't recognize those and pick it up. So you just gotta keep messing around with it. And we're gonna try this again and see if it actually recognizes what I'm saying. Because if it recognizes stuff, usually it will change the color to indicate that that's an actual thing. Okay, there we go. Now it's recognizing it. Now it should change green. Watch it, watch it, watch it. It's gonna change. Yep, there we go. Now we're speaking English, or whatever computer language is. You know, whatever language this computer speaks, we're speaking it now. All right, same thing. We're gonna do AudioKit, and what's our output gonna be set to? The bank. No, I'm not talking about the place that money's stored in. I'm talking about this bank right here. All right, now we're gonna do AudioKit. Remember this one where we have to do try? Yep, and then AudioKit.start. Right, all right. So now we are going to create a class. What? We have to create classes in the playground? Class is boring. No, this is the fun class. This is the coding class. The thing that's gonna create our keyboard view. The thing you guys have been waiting for. So let's go ahead, name this class Playground View, just like they did. And here's the catch. They did AK Playground View, right? Okay, let's try doing that. AK Playground View. Wait, nothing came up. That's strange. See, this is what I spent time searching for. It's actually now that they updated it, this is AudioKit 4.6, not AudioKit 3. Whatever, like they're using. They changed it, so now it's called AK Live View Controller. Right. So that's the actual thing we're going to be using, not AK Playground View. So they changed it on you. You got to be careful about that. And then we're going to do override. Also, if you're new here and you're not experienced with programming and stuff, just let me know if you get an error in the comments below, because I got an error with this and I had to spend time looking around in this header file, like what is this thing called now? I had to like look around in here and I had to look through all these things. So please let me know if you get an error below, and I will try my best to help you, because I have time, guys. I don't have millions of people replying to me yet, so I will get back to every person I can. But anyway, now that we have that playground view set up, we're gonna do override func, and then actually instead of setup, we're gonna do view did load, right? and then we're gonna do let set a keyboard. Okay, now this is similar to something we did in the previous tutorial. In fact, I have my project from the previous tutorial, so I'm just gonna go ahead and open that up real quick. Remember when we did this? We made this function load keyboard, and then we set up a keyboard view. Right, this is the view that's gonna create our keyboard. It's gonna make the piano thingy appear. This thingy, that's what that is. So we're gonna let keyboard, AKKeyboardView, that's this one. You wanna make sure that it turns green, because if it doesn't, that means we're in trouble. Okay, good, turned green. All right, and then this keyboard is gonna have a width of 440. I think those are pixels, I don't know, but just say 440, right? And then height is gonna be 100, okay. Now this is different. This says add subview. Well, another thing that you have to just improvise on, it's actually gonna be add view, not add subview. We're just gonna add view. And then we're gonna pass our keyboard variable through that as a parameter. So it's gonna add the view keyboard, which is our thingy. It's gonna look like that. And then at the end of our code, we're gonna add this line. You're gonna need to add this line or else your playground, your view won't appear. So make sure you add this. Live view equals playground view. This is gonna set our live view up, right? This is a live view. That's what they call it in this because it's a playground and you're building the code on the spot. So it's like a live view. You sort of get a live view of what it is rather than having to build it on the iPhone simulator and view it on there. You can just view it here, which is nice. But it just took some figuring out. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and run this and show you guys what we come up with. And what you're gonna wanna do, you're gonna wanna click these, you're gonna go to the top bar and you're gonna wanna click these ringy thingies, like they're joined together, sort of like the gender symbols or something. I don't know a good analogy, but you're gonna wanna click those. It's gonna open up this screen here. It should automatically open up this keyboard.xcode playground page live view. And okay, I'm just gonna try playing that again. Okay, there we go. There's our keyboard, guys. Wow, look at that. Except no noise. Right, we haven't made progress yet. Here's where we're gonna make the real progress. So what they taught us in this article is that the first thing you gotta do is set the keyboard.delegate equal to self, because then that's gonna allow you to touch it, sort of. It's actually gonna register your touch. And the one thing we need to do for that is we need to add a comma right next to AK Live View Controller, and we're gonna add another thingy in here. It's gonna be AK Keyboard Delegate right there. You're gonna add that in there. And now it shouldn't give you an error if you type in keyboard.delegate equals self. It shouldn't give you any errors when you try to do that because it knows what that delegate thingy is. It knows it's from that class right there. So it knows what you're talking about. And all you do is you pass your variable, your keyboard view, to that delegate, and you set it equal to self, because then it registers the touch on itself. So now if the next thing we need to do actually to get sound is we need to do something with MIDI. Now if you don't know what MIDI is, it's an acronym that stands for Musical Instrument Digital Interface. So it's basically the language that computers speak to digital instruments through. So what we want to do to get our sound to go on is after our override func view did load, we're going to do another space, and you want to make sure it's out of these brackets, and then we're going to do func note on. This is when you press down, when you're pressing down on the keyboard, and then we're going to do note, MIDI note number. And these are literally just numbers. That's how MIDI communicates. It's all through numbers. So then we're gonna, inside that function, we're gonna do our bank. Remember our bank? Remember, we're passing that variable through there, and we're gonna do play, and then note, number, note, and velocity. Now velocity is how hard you hit the keyboard. So usually when you hit a real piano, the harder you hit the note, the louder it is. So this velocity is gonna really determine the amplitude sort of, or the power in our note that we're gonna do. And look at that, I made a typo. Great, okay. Next thing we're gonna do is func note off, because it wouldn't know if you let go of the note unless you did that note off function right there. And then same thing, note, MIDI, note number, because right, the notes are stored in numbers. That's how MIDI communicates. And instead it's stop instead of play. And then note, number, note. All right. And now I believe this is just showing you that really instead of frequencies like we did earlier, the notes are all communicated in numbers, so you don't need to specify the frequencies like we were earlier. And I'm going to show you what the difference, before we type this in, I'm going to show you what the difference is. This is called mono mode, and it only allows you to hit one note at a time on the keyboard. So we're going to go ahead and build this. It should show up right here. And we're gonna just play this and you guys will see what happens. Right? C, E, G. Yay, we got it to make noise. So now we can press one note at a time. That sounds really interesting. Oh, okay, now it's getting annoying. But yeah, you can see we can only press one note at a time. We want to be able to press multiple, so we can set it to polyphonic mode, and that's going to allow us to click multiple notes at one time. So what you can go ahead and do is, at the last part of your, inside your view did load function, we're going to do keyboard.polyphonic mode equals true. And that means that's going to be on. Oops, true. Okay, now that's going to be on, so now we can do that. And we're going to go ahead and build the rest of this again. Okay, so now what we can do is we can click multiple notes and we can actually start doing chords now. So here's a C major 7th for you guys. It's so beautiful. That's the sound my dad's car makes when it's backing up, because he has a hybrid, so it's electric, so you can't really hear it. So it has to make a noise when you back up. And that's the noise it makes right there. And you can also do minor chords, or even that sounds a little bit jazzy there. Okay, now that's just ugly, but yeah, so we did it, guys. We built it. We built the keyboard, and now the next step after this is just implementing this into our app that we created in the first tutorial. And once we do that, now we have a phone that you have a keyboard on there that can play a sine wave. And next step after that is actually getting real samples in there, which we'll talk about that in the next tutorial. But that's gonna wrap it up for today's tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this one, and make sure if you enjoyed this video that you leave a like and let me know if you wanna see more. Can we hit at least 5 likes on this one? That would be awesome. I spent a lot of time working on this, and it was really fun, but it takes a lot of effort, so that would be awesome for the support. If you guys didn't like the video, it's okay to dislike, but what would help me even more is if you let me know what I can do to improve my future videos. And of course, if you're new to my channel, it wouldn't hurt to subscribe, because then you can stay in the loop and you know what videos I'm gonna upload next. And you can also get notifications, be the first person to watch them, and all that good stuff. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I hope you learned a lot. And I'm sorry if it's confusing for you, but it's gonna take a couple of days. Just let it sit in your brain, and the next time you come back to it, it's gonna be a lot easier. But see you guys in the next one. Peace out.